All right. Thank you, Jenna. Okay, Nadia. So here's what we're going to do. Okay. Remember, now we're going to practice. You are now going to be, obviously, the benefit representative. I am the client. But on this first practice round, on this hot seat, I'm going to speak and I'm going to need you to do the drawing. Okay. So give
Yes.
me 1 second because I want to pull one quick thing up here. Let me see something here. Okay. Let me pull this up. Okay. So we are going to go ahead and play a part here to that Wall Street Journal. Okay. So Nadia, can you stop sharing your screen for 1 second? Okay. Can you please pull up the Monday morning meeting email that I recently sent out with Crack the Nest Egg and just open up that Word document for Cracks in the Nest Egg?
Okay.
And when you pull it up, I need you to share your screen, please. Okay, good. Now, Nadia, anytime you're about to present this, whether I'm looking at it like this or not, can you increase the font size or the zoom? I'm sorry, where it says 100%. Can you click? Yeah, there you go. Keep it going. There you go. Because remember, I'm a retiree. My eyes may be a little bit bad. So from here, I need you to scroll it up or and then talk about go ahead and take it from here if you can. And it's okay. Listen, if you butcher it up, I'm okay with that.
Like, where are my notes? Yeah, so um, can I just look at my notes for 1 second?
Absolutely.
Let me see this. No, that's not the mistake sign yet.
It's okay. Go back to the screen and I'll help you, okay? And just
Okay.
let you navigate it. Um, so pretend I'm talking to Mrs. Jones. Are you familiar with who the Wall Street Journal is? "Well, yeah, actually, I am. Well, what is the Wall Street Journal?" And they're going to let you know that something along the lines that it tells the finance and this and that. So you would agree that the Wall Street Journal is a business publication. It is not an insurance company. Would you agree with that? Yep, I sure would. Well, here's an article from the Wall Street Journal that says cracks in the nest egg. And then when you say that and they can see it, I need you to scroll immediately, keep scrolling to where, oh, wait a minute, did that not highlight in yellow when I saved it?
Mm-mm.
So, okay, when you save this document, I need you to highlight number one in yellow for me, but neither here nor there, but just make sure that it's highlighted moving forward.
That.
No, I'll show you how to when you save your Word document how to box
Okay.
it in. Okay. But what I need you to do for everybody to understand is that needs to be highlighted in yellow and you kind of scroll right past it. Say, and you want them to see like a yellow flash. But you say, oh, there was something there as number one that was yellow, but I'll get to it here in a minute. But they say if you take the number two and you add it to number 10, it cannot compare to number one. So let me read these to you. And then you're going to read bullet two, bullet three, bullet four, bullet five, bullet six, bullet seven, bullet eight, bullet nine, and bullet 10. Okay. And then when you stop reading bullet 10, scroll it right back up to the top. Okay. Keep going. Nope. Keep going straight to the top. And they're going to see another yellow and they're going to see cracks in the nest egg. And then you stop sharing your screen. Okay. So again, they talk about the top 10 things. So have you ever heard of the Wall Street Journal? Yes, I have. What is it? So you get them to readily agree that it's not an insurance company. It is a business publication. You would agree with that? Yes, I do. Well, they talk about the top 10 things that seniors fail to do in retirement. They say if you take the number two and you add it to number 10, it cannot really truly compare to number one. And I'm going to share this with you. And I'm going to immediately scroll and they're going to see this yellow and I'm going to go straight to number two. I'm like, oh, by the way, Mr. Jones, did you see something there in yellow? And they're going to say, yes, I did. Great. I'll get to it here in a minute. But let me read to you number 2 and just read the tag bullet. Go down on number 3, read the bold bullet and do it all the way down. Then you go right back up to the top, scroll right by the yellow. I say, I'm going to get to this yellow here in a minute. Go right back up to the nest egg where it says cracks in the nest egg and stop sharing your screen. Now, Mrs. Jones, I believe that people are very visual. Now, Nadia, this is where you're getting ready to share your screen to do the whiteboard, okay? I believe that people are very visual. So I'm going to share with you what the Wall Street Journal is referring to in cracks in your nest egg. You have to understand, as I'm speaking, I'm navigating to my screen. As I am speaking, I am sharing with them what I am about to do. Now, right here, this circle represents your nest egg. This is everything that you've worked for your entire life. Now, Nadia, I need you to put a dollar symbol in the middle of that circle. Okay? Okay, how about this? Do me a favor, practice the drawing because that's going to give me a headache as a retired educator.
Okay.
Just click the line like you're going to draw.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. This is your nest egg. This is everything you worked for your entire life. Okay? Now, I don't want to assume, but is your home, is it paid for?
Yes.
Okay. Then you will know that your home is already considered to be an asset. Now, as we discussed, you taught for 30 plus years. Are you drawing in from a pension?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now, are you drawing in from a Social Security?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, we're getting warmer now. Now, keep in mind here, many of our retirees, and as I'm talking, Nadia, you need to go down to that bottom left and get ready to write the letter I. Many of our retirees already have investments on the side, not including your home. Many individuals are either using CDs, money markets, IRAs to earn interest on their income. I don't want to assume, but with your investment portfolio, is it under or over $500,000? Okay, very good, Nadia. Oh, it's a little under. Oh, okay. Well, roughly where is it? Is it roughly, 1, 2? And you heard Tom today land on it or earlier this week. It's about 350. That's where the majority of retirees fall in. Okay, great. Now, is there any other form of income coming into the home that we need to be aware of? Some of our retirees have rental properties, farmlands, other forms of streams of income and earning money. Oh, I wish I was like them. Nope, that's all we have. Okay, great. So I want you to remember this. What the Wall Street Journal is referring to, this is everything that you've worked for your entire life as a quick visual. However, there's a little black hole. And this little black hole represents nothing to protect your nest egg. Okay? Heaven forbid, God forbid, if something were to happen to you catastrophically. Okay? And we've seen this happen before to some of our retirees where Medicare falls short and they can't cover the gap in that coverage. The minimum, nope, you need to reverse that. That one now is not income coming in. This is out.
Going out.
Yep. The minimum coming out of your nest egg, okay, if something catastrophic were to happen, will be a minimum of $70,000. And I'm bringing that extremely low. So the question I want to propose to you is, Mrs. Jones, how long do you think that nest egg is going to last? And just stay quiet. And you heard Tom, he's going to do the math, 70 and 350. He's going to say not very long, maybe 5 years being the max. You're correct. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm meeting with you here today, just like all these other retirees that we're talking about here today, is so that if we can put in force something to protect your nest egg. Now, Nadia, as I'm talking here, where do you take that cursor?
Oh,
You're going to do the dotted line. Remember the dotted line that's going to go underneath that circle to protect it. Like you're going to do those dots. Remember the dots?
no, I'm so sorry. Like
Oh, you're fine.
this?
Yep. So protect it. Keep. Yeah. So what you're going to do, it's gonna look weird, but keep doing the dots. Like, no, you did it right, but go on the, okay, here, I'll show you. You see where your line is down at the bottom? I know
This
that sounds
one?
crazy. Touch the circle to the left above the line, right there. And
Okay.
basically, you're going to make like a smiley face, but you're going to dot the smiley face around. Nope, it's okay. I'll show you here in a second.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. But what I'm saying here is, and then I'll just do this really quick. If we can put in force something to protect your nest egg, that's something that you're interested in looking into. Is that correct? And they're going to say, yeah, that's correct. And then bam, stop sharing the screen. Now they can't see it anymore. So now let me just do this really quick. Okay. And it's just only for the bottom part. I'm not going to go through all that again. But remember the circle's right here. There's that little black hole. Okay. And so I'll let them know. So Nadia, the reason why I'm meeting with you here today is so that if we can put in force something to protect that nest egg,
Mhm.
that's going to be something that you're going to be interested in looking into. Is that correct? Yeah, that's about correct. And then I stopped sharing the screen. Because Nadia, right now you're getting ready to the transition. And you heard Tom say, Sudi, you literally said word for word what the AMBA presentation used to be like. And I know because we had this big little warm up, and I took away for these presentations paragraph 3 and paragraph 4 because it's priceless, in my opinion. So, Nadia, and I need you guys to learn this, and I'm going to probably find that old school presentation to give you paragraph. Actually, let me write that down. Paragraph 3 and paragraph 4. So, Nadia, and you need to say their association, what the Idaho Retired Teachers Association has found out, what the Wyoming Retired Teachers Association has found out, what the Colorado Retired Teachers Association has now found out is that with your present coverage of your Medicare, whoops, what'd she say? Hang on. You should be in that email, Heidi, on Monday. If you didn't, I'll resend it to you.
Yeah, I didn't. So thank you.
Huh.
I
Okay.
can forward it to you, Heidi.
Okay. Heidi, do you get, well, anyway, we'll talk later. I'll make sure you're in
Yeah.
my distribution channel. I just lost my train of thought. Oh, so Nadia, what the Colorado Retired Teacher Association has found out is that with your present coverage, with Medicare and your supplement, you pretty well have your bases covered for most things. At the hospital, at the doctor's office, and for medications. But where many of our retirees get into trouble, and in some cases real trouble, now this is how it used to be, is when long-term care strikes. I want you to hear the original presentation. This is because long-term care has become the #1 single most expensive threat to our retirees. This is due to the fact that your present coverages are very limited when it comes to long-term care needs. This is because they were never intended to cover the cost of most nursing care facilities, which today is anywhere between $7,000 to $10,000 a month or even more. Now, while you and I have a 1 in 2 chance of needing long-term care in our lifetime, we have a 100% chance of spending thousands of dollars out of your pocket if and when this does occur. And I've seen it run hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, Nadia, you're going to be happy to know that on behalf of the Colorado Retired Teachers Association and AMBA, we've put together a program that's been negotiated on your behalf. And let me share with you what this means. I'm going to hit pause there for a second. That is a 2004 vintage sales presentation. that I'm in 2025 that I still remember word for word. And I'm dead serious when I told you this. I remember I went all the way down to Austin, Texas. We all met at the hotel room at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We had 15 to 20 people in that room. And each one of us had to go sit over here, and we had to stand up, and we had to go to the front, and we had to give the presentation. The first page, the second page, and halfway through the third page. Word for word. Not, oh, go back, you missed one sentence. And if you didn't have it word for word, you got to sit back in the corner, wait till the end, and you got one more shot. We're not going to slow down the class because you didn't take it upon yourself to know that presentation. And they went through it again. And when they found out, she would tell everybody, okay, hey, listen, you 8, you're good. You other 4, I need you to stay back with me. And I remember her, Shayna Craig, she was my trainer. And Shayna let 3 out of the 4 go. Bye-bye, we're done. I'll talk to the managers and we'll send in those term reports. If they decide to revisit back with you, I'll let them know how far you got in the presentation, but you didn't get very far. You want to talk about being nervous as crap. Then we go to our training rooms or going into the classroom, study, do whatever, you come back. That week, they made the joke. The president of the company came in. Sleep will be overrated in these next 7 days. It's going to be overrated. I don't care what anybody. And he is so smooth. He was so funny. But every night, we paired up with what today is called a swim buddy. And it was you and your partner were joint at the hip. And if your partner failed, it was because of you, and if they, vice versa. And we studied and we trained, and we studied and we trained, and we studied and we trained. And you know what that studying was? A sales presentation. You know what got ingrained in my brain? That sales presentation. You know what everybody knew in that room? The sales presentation. And when somebody kind of veered off, somebody was able to say, whoa, got to get back. That's not where it was in the presentation. And that type of accountability is what I want in this training, okay? Because I'm dead serious about this. You do not turn around and get 1099, $66,000 in 6 months back in 2004 by winging it, okay? I followed something. And so I'm going to tell you to follow that. Now, that is what the presentation was. Today, we're trying to reverse engineer it. So, Matt, what the Matt, where are you? Yeah, so with the Utah, sorry, I just drew a blank. What the Utah, whatever, you guys get your association, has found out is that with your present coverage, you pretty well have your bases covered for most things at the hospital, doctor's office, and for your medications. However, where many of our retirees get into trouble, and in some cases real trouble, is when what? What do you think it should be?
Long-term care.
Nope, you can't give me something very specific. It's when something catastrophic strikes. I need to be very general. It's when something catastrophic strikes and Medicare doesn't cover the gap in the coverage that they're supposed to. And they're going to say, well, wait a minute. Now, don't get me wrong, Matt. Medicare is intended to cover most things, but it's not intended to cover everything. I mean, you would agree, Matt. Watch me get back to this. You would agree, Matt. Medicare was never intended to cover everything 100% in retirement. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
That's it. End my conversation. So, Matt, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to now walk you through a federally regulated program, which is called Medicare. And I'm going to share with you the gaps in the coverage and where some of our retirees are being exposed. Everybody hear me now? So what I'm doing, I'm just taking the fundamentals of the AMBA legacy presentation, and I'm letting them know that when something catastrophic strikes, catastrophic can mean numerous amounts of things. It's a general sweeping statement. You see, what today's generation maybe has not been trained on is that you got to hesitate and you got to modulate. You have to emphasize. You need to do the Socratic method. Look that up. And I'm dead serious about this in sales. It's called the Socratic method. Now, people always say that, Sudi, you always go deeper and deeper and deeper. I don't need this. Oh, actually, you do, because it's all part of my pitch. Do you see how my tone just got very, very quiet? Then my tone can get very, very animated. Then I can actually get more and more engaged. And then I get really low because when I go slow, then you know I'm more serious. Can somebody pull up the Socratic sales method? What does it mean?
A specific form of dialogue, specifically teaching and learning technique, uses questioning to simulate critical thinking and draw out deeper understanding.
So, Jason, what have you always seen in my training?
The questions, answers, high pitches, low pitches, leading questions, asking, don't you agree that? And when you're supposed to have a lot of thinking, you're animated, and when you're supposed to come to a conclusion, you sit back and let your body show how they're supposed to answer.
Correct. And also, I'm leading the dance. And also, I'm going to get you to come to a desired answer based upon my presentation. You see, when you give them open-ended questions or a yes or no type of question or a let them lead you, you don't lead them, you're just being reactive and it's never going to work. You're always playing catch up. But for me, I'm going to say no. I'm going to handle the objection before it becomes an objection. I'm going to sell my association and have established credibility. I'm going to do my busy approach. I'm going to sell that association. I'm going to ask the affirmative question. And then I'm going to give you the Wall Street Journal. I am getting ready to now start peeling off what I call the onion effect. Does anybody understand what peeling off the onion effect means? If you ever get an onion and you peel one piece of the onion, you got to keep peeling, right? Until it gets further and further and further down to the core. That's what I'm getting ready to do right now. Because you think you know Medicare, and you think you understand everything about Medicare, and you think that Medicare does this, and you think, oh my God, those Advantage plans are horrible. They don't do this, they don't do that, they don't do whatever. Oh, you know, I had this Medicare supplement, and this Medicare supplement plan, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. I didn't think it was this. Do you know where these retirees get all their information from? And I need you to, I need you to really hear me out.
Facebook.
Family or friends,
Facebook, family or
Neighbor.
friends, keep talking.
neighbors.
Do me a favor. I need everybody one day, and you think I'm joking about this, but try me. Go to a local, I don't eat McDonald's, but you get the point. Go to a local McDonald's, go to a local Denny's, go to anywhere you want in the morning, and you're going to see a little huddle of seniors, good old guys, friends back in high school, good old girlfriends getting together. If you don't believe me, walk in there. And I used to do that with my new agents so they can see. And we would literally sit near them intentionally. And you know what they all talk about? Prescription medications and Medicare. I said, if you want a referral base, all you got to do is just go out there to a local restaurant. And this is no kidding. Her name was Amanda Salisbury. She actually did this. She would drive out, go to the local Denny's and the Wendy's and just sit out there early, or the McDonald's and get in there. And she would literally sit beside them. And these ladies would start chit-chatting. The men would start chit-chatting. And she had her business card. Oh my God, this brought back a vivid memory. She takes her business card. She goes, Sudi, can you meet me in Greenwood? I'm like, yeah, where? Now, you have to remember back in the day, we would drive everywhere. So it wasn't a big deal for me. Like, oh, it's about an hour here. We're going to go to this McDonald's, exit number blank. So I was like, okay, what time do you want to be there by? She goes, let's get there by 6:30. Because for us, I always wanted my team to do a lot of things, but this was one of them. We used to have something called the 8 keys to success. Okay. And in that process, if you can do the 8 keys to success word for word, our CEO would pay you $100 on the spot, cash money, every time. Okay. Every time you saw him, give me the 8 keys. What's key number 3? What's key number 7? Like he would just pop it out. And one of them was, you got to get up, you got to go to bed early. Get up early, do twice the amount of work in half the time. So Amanda had a balance. She used to go to work early But her process was I would go to these local areas, sit down. So she was up early, but by 12 o'clock every day, clockwork with Amanda, she would have 4 or 5 referrals from one restaurant, and her day was done. She literally did this, and she did it 3 days a week. Now, I'm like, Amanda. She goes, Sudie, you really taught me how to do it. So she literally drove to these different spots. The point here is people were talking of Medicare, and she would listen. And I would never forget, we get there to Greenwood, and we're sitting there, and she goes, Hey, do you have your business card on you? I'm like, Yeah, I got my business card. I got the Indiana. And we would have our business card. We would have the Indiana Retired Teachers Quarterly Bulletin. We would have certain things in order. We would hear people talk, and we would lean over and say, I'm sorry to overhear, but are you all talking about Medicare? And they're like, Oh, yeah, Medicare this and Medicare that. That's where the circulation came from, where people would get their facts straight. Okay. But the reality is, Medicare Advantage is good for certain people based on their needs, based on where they want to go. And it's also based on their prescription medication. So what may be good for Matt may not be good for me because Matt and I may live in the same county, but Matt has a different zip code than I do. There's a variation there. So that's a different conversation. Part number 2, Medicare supplements. That's a totally different conversation. But the main thing that we landed on was, and if Amanda was here, she'll tell you how we used to do it. She would lean in. She goes, I'm sorry, ladies, are you all talking about Medicare? Oh, well, just letting you know, we happen to be here in Greenwood, which was Johnson County, and we're getting ready to give a presentation to the Indiana retired teachers because we are the guest speakers for them. And one of the topics that we deal with here is Medicare. I mean, do you guys know any teachers out here in your local county? And they're all like, oh my God, I taught. And then literally, they just open it up. Say, look, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother you here for breakfast, but here's my business card. As a matter of fact, this is the quarterly bulletin that gets sent out by the retired teachers here in the area. So just letting you know, what they love to do is have what they call sponsor referrals. So individuals who actually want to join the Indiana Retired Teachers Association is for advocacy and so forth, but it also makes them eligible for the negotiated benefits that they're entitled to. And they're like, really? So even though you weren't an educator, you can join as an associate member, and it's not much. And back then, it wasn't much at all. It was like $10 for the whole year. But anything and everything that we talk about, you get access to. But ladies, we used to do that. Gentlemen, there are gaps in Medicare. And people believe that Medicare covers everything for them 100% retirement, and that's not true. So these educational seminars we do with our photo ID badges on us, and she's like, oh my God, I can see it. Like, yeah, this is our ID badge. And we get the educational seminars, we do what we need to get done, and we do the one-on-one consultations. And keep in mind, there is a confidentiality that we have between you and that state association. So again, sorry to overhear, but some of the topics that you guys are bringing up kind of overhears, it's actually not true. Well, what wasn't true? Look, I'm sorry, but we don't have that much time here this morning, but if you want, I'll be more than happy. Do the takeaway. Don't sit there and give them a presentation in front of all those people. Just do the takeaway. Be respectful, be polite, do whatever. Amanda was a beast doing this. And it all came to fruition when she and I met and we were sitting there and it happened and a light bulb went off. And then that's how I started my pitch. And then from that point on, she just took with it and ran with it. So my point here is the camera is always on, okay? Always on. But I get back to, that's where retirees gather all their factual information, is at those restaurants. And that's why they think they know everything about Medicare. Now, sorry, I kind of went off the track. I'm going to get back on the track, but those stories are very important for you. Why?
They're success stories and things that we can try doing to get our book of businesses bigger.
And you also need to understand that my story becomes your story. It's what you choose to do with that story. Or my experience is what I did. And look how successful we were doing it. We never complained about leads. You know what we always used to do? Just give me the data. I didn't care about the business reply card. And this is the truth. This is factual. I would take that call list, and we used to go door to door in the counties with our photo ID badges on us. If you don't believe me, you live in the backyard of where those retirees are, and they are non-members of the association, I'll teach you that easy technique, okay, at a later date. But for now, I'm getting back to the PowerPoint, okay? Now, here's what I'm going to do. So remember, I'll let them know. I told them people are very visual, talking about the catastrophic. So getting back, Matt, when I say something catastrophic, what is catastrophic? Long-term care can be very catastrophic. Being diagnosed with cancer and treatment and battling that can be catastrophic, okay? Oh, go ahead, Jason.
Question, does cracks in the nest egg, where do you put that in the PowerPoint presentation? Are you right about to say that right now?
Nope, remember, in my presentation, when I'm doing my warm-up, I do my warm-up, okay? I do the busy approach, number 2. Number 3, I sell the association. Number 4, I ask the affirmative question. Number 5, I am paraphrasing general health, okay? You can rewatch that video. Paraphrase the general health. And then number 6, I bring up, have you heard of the Wall Street Journal? The Wall Street Journal will be the last in my chronological order. Then when I bring up the Wall Street Journal, I show the crack in the nest egg article. I go through with what I just shared with you. Stop sharing the screen. Then I do the visual drawing and talk to them what the Wall Street Journal is referring to, giving them a financial snapshot of where they are today based on them. After I do my drawing, I stop sharing the screen. Once I stop sharing that screen, then I'm going to say, Jason, on behalf of the Idaho Retired Teachers Association with AMBA, or on behalf of their state association, it appears as if you pretty well have your bases covered for most things. At the hospital, doctor's office, and it appears that it appears as if you pretty well have your bases covered for most things, because with your Medicare and your supplemental coverage, okay, and then you kind of get into it. So then the presentation is going to start, okay? So remember, there's a reason why I am not sharing my document that goes step by step. I need you to think, and I need you asking the questions that Jason did and start writing it down and revisit the video. I am baking all the way through. It is a step by step by step by step. Now, what I'm getting ready to show you here, all you got to do is just click the button. The hardest part of the whole presentation is everything leading up to the PowerPoint. Everything. That's it. Because once you do that right, and you have captivated them, from that point on, this part becomes very, very simplified. Now I'm only going to break it down on one section first, okay? So let's get back to where I was. So Matt, okay, wait a minute. Financial snapshot. I draw it. Indiana retired teachers. So you would agree it won't last very long. It won't last very long. Okay, so Matt, on behalf of the Utah Retired Teachers Association, okay, with your Medicare and your supplemental coverage, what we're now finding out is that you pretty well have your bases covered for most things, okay, at the hospital, doctor's office, and for your medications. However, where many of our retirees are getting into trouble, and in some cases real trouble, is when they are faced with the catastrophic needs where Medicare will fall short. Because, Matt, I'm going to be honest with you, Medicare is intended to cover certain things, but they're not intended to cover everything. I mean, you would agree, Medicare was never intended to cover everything for you 100% of retirement. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what I'm going to share with you now, I'm going to share with you the federally regulated program, and it's going to identify what Medicare pays. And I want everybody to hear this. What Medicare pays, you see my animation? What the plan pays, and then what you pay. Now, I need you to focus more on what you pay, okay? because there's going to be some areas and gaps that I need to make sure that you are aware of. Because the most important thing for you to understand is preparing and planning for tomorrow by preparing today. So let me just ask you a few quick things. Some of the things here, Matt, that we're going to review is going to be very, very simplified. And other things that we're going to talk about is just going to open up your eyes to a few things here, okay? So, Matt, can you see my screen here?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So what I need you to understand, oh, I hit the wrong button. Okay, what I need to make sure is your current status with your healthcare, okay? Now, obviously, we know who you have your traditional health insurance with. We kind of talked about that. And yes, we are already aware that this does cover you and your spouse. Now, from what we gathered in the initial conversation, we know that you have a Medicare supplemental plan and you also have a dental and vision plan that you did pick up, which is great. Now, do you know how much you're currently paying for your supplemental insurance? Now, ladies and gentlemen, once you propose a question, I need you to be quiet. Well, I really don't know, Sudi. Well, it does come out, 10 out of 10 already has it being deducted from their checking account. Do you have an idea of what that fee is? Because what we want to be able to do is just compare the pricing for you to see if there's a cost analysis where you can get the exact same coverage at a lower rate. Oh, great. And they're going to go and they're going to give me the price. Whatever they give you, keep it moving. Okay. Now, how important is it for you to maintain your current doctors, Matt? Okay.
So,
And how important is to choose, like you can choose any specialist of your choice without having okay, great. And you're just asking these probing little questions, right? These are just chit chat. And obviously we already know you're currently signed up for Medicare. What I need you to understand in 2025, right now, there is an expected and approximately 4.1 million Americans are going to be turning 65 this year and every year through 2027. And so that's why they talk about the silver tsunami and just skip over it. Now, Matt, we don't need to get into that because remember, ladies and gentlemen, I am dealing with somebody who already currently has Medicare. Okay. So, Matt, we really don't need to get into this right now because you've already signed up for Medicare. But what I do need you to understand is just a quick recap of what Medicare does and does not do. Okay. So, as you can see here, Medicare Part A obviously is provided by the federal government. And it's going to cover everything for you, basically, there for that type of hospital, inpatient care at the hospital, or a limited time. You see, look, I need you to know this, guys. Helps pay for inpatient care in a hospital or limited time at a skilled nursing facility following a hospital stay. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But keep in mind, Medicare Part B is actually going to be dealing, again, provided by the federal government. It's going to be paid for 80% after your deductibles are met for any type of doctors and specialists, medical services, and supplies and equipment. Again, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. And then we move over here to Medicare Part D, which you are aware that you currently have, which is a prescription drug plan. And then we're going to talk about the Medicare supplemental plan, okay? Because these are what we refer to as covers the gap of where Medicare leaves off. And just, it's literally right here, actually, as I said that, picks up where the original Medicare leaves off. It's just ingrained in my brain because I've always said that my whole career. Now, I need you to make sure that you understand the Medicare basics. Right now, as a quick refresher, and I let them know this is a quick refresher. Medicare Part A and B, as you know, you're roughly about $185. It depends on how long you put in and what you put in. Is being deducted from your Social Security. So therefore, that would trigger your Medicare Part B, and now you have A and B. Obviously, as we alluded to earlier, again, you have your supplement and you have your prescription drug plan. But now,
Sudi, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you for a second because some of us are doing these presentations and they might have a Medicare Advantage. So we have to kind of structure it to include that.
Yes. Now, keep in mind, this presentation I'm giving you here is specifically for the mailers that we have done for the areas for med subs only. These are not for Medicare Advantage targeted areas.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you, Mary. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you something here really quick about the original Medicare. Okay. Again, with everything that we talked about, that supplement, as you can see there in red, is always going to cover the remaining 20%. And the beautiful thing about this is Once you present your Medicare Part A and B, and then you present your Medicare supplemental card, ladies and gentlemen, every time I'm talking, what do you see my cursor doing? Drawing their attention, right? I need you to continue to do that in your training. Once you present your Medicare Part A and B and your supplemental card, there's no claim forms to file. At that point, that provider is going to turn around and bill Medicare. So I need you now to take a look over here on how this process works. So now you go in, present your Medicare A and B in your supplemental card, and that provider will turn around and bill Medicare. Medicare at that point will generally cover 80% of the bills. Then they're going to turn around and bill the supplement, where again, the supplement will cover the remaining 20%, as that visual shows you. Then you're going to get a bill in the mail stating that you owe $0 and everything is paid for after you meet your deductible, and you are one happy camper. Okay, that is a picture perfect world of how things work today. Now, if you go back to that provider, the hospital or your physician or so forth, and they turn around and do something, and I'm going to keep it very loose here, but all of a sudden Medicare denies the claim. Well, if Medicare denies the claim, what do you think is going to happen to the supplement? And they always answer, are they not going to cover it? Or they're going to answer, it's going to deny the claim. I'm like, that's correct. It's going to deny the claim because Medicare has to approve it first. And if the Medicare declines it, the supplement declines it, and then all of a sudden you're not a happy camper. And there's 3 areas that we are now uncovering for our retirees here in whatever association that they understand. If you were to ever get diagnosed with cancer, if there were any type of air and ground transportation, whether it's domestic or international, and if you were faced with long-term care situation or short-term care stay, but more importantly, needing home care is where the majority of our retirees fall into. So I want to show you the plans. And again, it's based on the conversation that you have, but what we're going to share with you here is the Medicare chart, and it shows you the plans. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, these are the plans, Plan A through Plan N. And as you can see here, shaded in gray, is the Plan G. Now you're going to see all the benefits that Medicare covers over here to the left. And keep in mind, you're going to see check marks that the plan covers, except there's one area that it doesn't cover, which is the Medicare Part B deductible, which I'm going to share with you here in a minute. But I need you to see something here. This is Medicare Part A. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is slide number 11 of slide 17, or of the PowerPoint of 17. Slide 11. I need you working on slide 11 for your homework, and I'm not going to go any further than slide 11 for today. Okay? Now, you need to understand that this is going to cover this is actually dealing with Medicare Part A. And remember, Part A deals with the hospitalization. Okay? Now, when you look at this, for the first 60 days, any type of semi-private room and board, general nursing, and miscellaneous services and supplies, Medicare pays all but $1,000, and I always emphasize these amounts, $1,676. The good news here is that the Plan G picks up that deductible of $1,676, which you pay $0. Okay? Now you see how I'm talking and I'm clicking at the same time? Now, from the 61st day through the 90th day, Medicare is going to pay all but $419 per day. The Plan G will pick up the $419 per day. You are going to pay $0. Now, from the 91st day after, okay, Medicare is going to cover all but $838 per day. The Plan G will pick up the $838 per day, and you will owe $0. However, Mrs. Jones, just letting you know, once you are there for an additional 365 days or anything beyond 365 days, Medicare pays $0, the plan pays $0, and you're going to be responsible for all the costs. And that's where many of our retirees already currently have their legacies left back behind for their grandchildren, for their children. Do you currently have your life insurance in force? That's where you're bringing it up. Oh, well, yes, I do. It's with this, it's with that. Okay. Now, you alluded to earlier about your children. having, obviously having some grandchildren out there, would you ever consider wanting to leave a legacy for them upon your passing? And be very general but very like, would you like to leave a legacy for them upon your passing? It is a very soft, like prideful, like, man, you know what? I love my grandchildren. Yeah, I do. Like they can have life insurance already taken care of for their burial, for their final expense, for everything. But what are you doing for the grandkids? This is a small little token that they can do. Always keep that in mind. And then you jot your notes and keep it moving. Now, Mr. Jones, this is where I'm going to need you to really focus on is anytime it comes to skilled nursing facility. Once you're in the hospital for 3 consecutive days, okay? And I always use the word 3 consecutive days. And something catastrophic were to happen to you, okay? Where you're going to need skilled care by a Medicare-approved facility within 30 days. The first 20 days, Medicare is going to cover all the amount, whereas you are going to pay, the plan will pay 0 and you will pay 0 out of pocket. But this is where it gets very, very tricky. From the 21st day through the 100th day, Medicare will pay all but $209.50. The plan G will pick up the $209.50, and you're going to pay $0. However, from the 101st day onward, Medicare pays 0. The plan G will pay 0, and you're going to be responsible for all the costs. And that's where many of our retirees have their group long-term care plans taken care of. Now, do you currently have your long-term care plan through that school corporation while you're actively working? Oh, you don't? Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Was it not proposed to you guys at that point, or did you not qualify? Oh, not a problem. I'll get that information to you in a minute. Now, I'm going to stop right there. Okay? What I need you guys to know is part of this training, part of this training and part of everything that we do, it takes practice. And I need you to get on it every day for 30 to 45 minutes practicing. I don't want to hear, man, I don't know this. I didn't review it last week. No, dive in. I need you to dive in. What I just showed you on slide 11 of 17, I showed you from the first 20 days, everything's covered. From 21 days to 100 days, what will be covered? But from 101 onward, nothing is covered. Right? Once you get good at this, you're also going to incorporate that from the 21st day through the 100th day. Keep in mind, it has to be skilled care. If Medicare deems that you have any room of improvement, they're going to change that coding from skilled care to custodial care. And when they do that within the 21st through the 100th day, Medicare is done. You're on your own. And that's where many of our retirees have their long-term care plans in force. Now, did you, Jason, get yours through the school corporation while you were actively working? Oh, wait a minute, you didn't? Wait a minute, was it not offered at your school corporation at that time? Or did you not qualify for the plan? You see, you want to make them feel like, well, it was never offered. Or if they did, you're welcome, take off. Oh my God, I'm over my time. Sorry, I got another meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for that alert. But you get it.
Thank you, Sudi.
You get it. I will go ahead and stop this right now, and we'll pick it up from here. Okay, guys?
Thanks, Judy.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much. Bye-bye.